Shin Sadi base. So we're on number Lama Dalit. So he says, what are we talking about? B'chein b'tefillin shal rosh v'chein ku haseder b'nachas tefillin shal rosh. He said Yanich b'tefila, so he's talking about the two. I actually wanted to start on the previous page, but it's okay. Yanich b'tefila the Rashi. So Rashi comes first. Ba'ofen sheb'tefila Yanich tefillin shal rosh the Rashi. So then the first thing is we'll get to the tefila shal rosh of Rashi. So he says, what do we have here? So also all a rosh kashehem kushuvin kitzas l'tzad mata. So they're going to be on the lower part. The Rabeinu Tam. Then after that you do that. The Rashi. The Rabeinu Tam. He said, Lamala Mirashi, they're going to be up above those of Rashi. L'makom b'shel tefillin the Rabeinu Tam, heim Lamala merat tefillin the Rashi, so they're going to be up above. The Heilishem benichin kashehem mushuchin the tzad ma'ala, so when they're extended, I guess, to the top part, with tefillin the Rashi, they're going to be up above the tefillin Rashi, so he's telling us how we have to put these on. V'chein gam hakesher shel tefillin the Rashi yinich ba'oref, so then also, those ones that you place them on the shoulder, Yosa the Matach bin the Kesher to the Tefillin Sharosh the Rabeinu Tam. So they're going to be down lower than those at the Rabeinu Tam. So he said the Yanich ba'oref, the orech is the bath of the neck. So this is also the order. B'chanachas Kesher to the Tefillin Sharosh when you put on the Tefillin Sharosh. So like we say, like on the arm, could be where like that. So let's see. Who has seder b'chanachas Kesher to the Tefillin Sharosh. Shemakom abidasin shal the Kesher to the Tefillin Sharosh the Rashi hu ba'oref, which is really in the area. What's it? The back of the neck. The Kesher, the knot, is going to be on the neck. The lamata mimako makesher the tefillin shal rosh the Rabeinu Tam, so this is going to be below the place where the kesher the other Rabeinu Tam. So he's talking about the kesher that's in the back of the tefillin. V'nimsa shehem b'tefillin shal yad v'chein b'tefillin shal rosh yesh the haskil lahaniach as a tefillin shal Rashi. So if you want it to be on the lower part, you have to put in the tefillin shal Rashi first. Techila v'rak la'achar mekan as the tefillin of the Rabeinu Tam, and only after that the tefillin of the Rabeinu Tam. V'atach harab b'forish malku hatam sheb'damas chila b'chanachas the tefillin the Rashi koda b'nachas the tefillin shal Rabeinu Tam. So that's a good idea. Why do we put these on first? So he says the code meme the kones mochin the ima, because the first thing is that the mochin the ima come in first. V'hu b'shum sh'hamochin sh'neknas l'techila b'zah, heim hamochin b'tzad ima shehem rams into the tefillah the Rashi. So the Rashi dekafit tefillah referred to the mochin of ima. V'achar kach neknasim mochin the Abba. Then after that, enter in the mochin the Abba. Rak achar sh'hamochin b'tzad ima neknasim b'zah. So then after that, only after that the mochin of ima have come in, neknasim b'zah, oz neknasim bo hamochin b'tzad Abba. Now I thought they rode together, but he wants to say that the ima b'dika one precedes Abba. Shem tefillin the Rabeinu Tam, which are of course the Abba dika tefillin or the tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. Kamoshi Yisbar v'Eses Hashem. We're going to get into it. Ba'mochin the Abba merams into the tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. That really the reference is the tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. B'kevin sh'hamochin the ima heim asher neknasim dechila b'zasa. Since the mochim of ima are those that enter into Zer Anpin, that's the first one to come in. The Fichot Makdimin as the Nachas of the Tefillin Shel Rashi, Amaraz in the Mochin De'ima, so that's the fact. The Hanachas on the Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam, Ramazach of the Mochin De'abba, so there which is come first before those of Rabeinu Tam. But the Chay, B'kevin should Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam roams in the Mochin De'abba, since they really reflect that. But the tefillah the Rashi roams the mochin de'ima. Now what we learned earlier is that in Mincha time we don't wear tefillin. I don't know, Rabeinu the Rav wore tefillin at Mincha, but you don't have any of the Mincha. So, but you don't have the Abadika, the Rabeinu Tam. You don't wear them because there's no Abba entering into Zer Anpin at Mincha time. So we just saw that elsewhere. So he said, because Sha'ata Korech Aritzuas Savid Izroa. So now we're in the place where you're wrapping the bands around your arm. Now you're putting them on together. So when you put on the tefillin, so now you're wrapping all of the straps. Saviv Ezroa, Shehim Aperik Emsoy Shaliyad. We're talking here about the forearm. Tasim a Ritzuas the Rabeinu Hutam, Tachas a Ritzuas the Rashi. So you will put the Ritzuas of Rabeinu Tam below those of underneath those of Rashi. So he said, Yesh l'chroch techila as a Ritzuas the Rabeinu Tam. So he says the first thing here is you're going to put on the Rabeinu Tam. Now there was thought that we talked about on the placement of the boxes of the Tefillin, that Rabeinu Tam is going to be on the top. Here you'd start the Ritzuas, the Ritzuas first. Is of Alechem Yesh l'chroch as a Ritzuas the Rashi, and then on top of them you start wrapping the Ritzuas of Rashi. So he said, the Rashi. So it comes out like this: that the Ritzuas that come from Rashi, Mechasos, they cover over Malamala el V'Tzuas Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. Now this makes perfect sense that the Rabeinu Tam, which is Abba, will be inside of Ima. So you match them up, and so that the Ritzuas of Rabeinu Tam cannot be seen. The Rashi Mechasos al Gabe Ritzuas the Rabeinu Tam. So they're covering them over. Nimsa Sharatzuas the Rabeinu Tam Einim Izgalim. So therefore you don't see them; they're hidden, and that's the hidden light of Abba. Ki Kain Oris Abba Mechusim Ba'oris Imas, because that's always the way it is, that the lights of Abba are covered. V'chatam lezech shemechasech epechased Ritzuas the Tefilin shal Yad the Rabeinu Tam. Ayidech Ritzuas the Tefilin shal Yad the Rashi. Who mishum shekoidim sheneknasim amochim bezav, because of this reason, before the mochin come into zah, hey mislavshim ba'over she'oras adanki da'aba, that they come in such a way and clothed in such a way that the oros of the nai da'aba mislavshim ba'oras adanki da'ima, as we just said. So he said, "V'nimsa the fizesa," comes out according to that. Abba who Tomer Vagon is Toch Ima. This is the way it's supposed to be, that Abba is hidden inside of Ima. And that's the way they travel. So for this reason, also the wrapping of the straps of the Tefillin on the arm, mislav shows the Ritzuas the Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam, that the Rabeinu Tam Tefillin are hidden, are clothed inside Toch Ritzuas the Rashi. So he said, Rashi. So that we talked about what the kavanah is when we talk about the Tefillin shal Rashi. V'sham v'bir harav as a kavanah sheyesh the kavim bechem b'chanachas Tefillin the Rashi. So now he's going to go on and repeat for us that the kavanahs that you have when you're putting on the Tefillin shal Rashi. He says, Amnam, but Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. Lo kibalti memori zacha b'manchet tzarek l'kavim. But so I really didn't. He said I really didn't learn this, or I didn't process it. What the Rav told him. Umarachu koisiv shaharav lo gilulo. So he says no, the Rav didn't really reveal him, but Farish specifically. Ma'chem hakavona sheyesh the kavim b'chem b'chanachas Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. But I learned out from what he said. I understood this from what he said. Who says this? Ach maharchu mevar atach b'chesed sheyesh the kavim bal b'chanachas Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. This is according to his general understanding of what the Rav has been talks about. When you do the Tefillin shel Rosh, so this is an easy kavanah, if we can remember it, to do as we're putting on Tefillin. Shabaranacha's Tefillin shel Rosh the Rabeinu Tam yesh the kavan. This is the kavanah b'shlosha shemitz ekia. Excuse me. The Havaya written like this, Yud K K Vav, and then Ekia again. So it's two Ekias and a Havaya, but with this spelling. B'shlosha shemos elu shehem Ekia shuhu mochin the Ibor. Yeah, and the Yakaku, I put a word on it, but the Yud K K Vav, who are Mochin the Unika, these are the Mochin the Unika, these are the different stages that we want to really grow. It's just like the growth, we are growing mentally, our Kavana, to bring in these Mochin. Ubechem na'asach habeshinu shebein tefillin shal rosh the Rabeinu sham, the bein tefillin shal rosh the Rabeinu tam. So I think I said that wrong. The tefillin shal rosh of Rashi versus the tefillin of rosh shal Rabeinu tam. Both of the tefillin the Rabeinu tam osim as a chavaya b'tzur yud k k vav. V'kevish of the tefillin the Rabbanon aim Rabeinu tam rather. Tom, Nichte v'Rabarshil shechal Hainu v'Hoya Kiviyachu v'Parshat v'Hoyim Shemoa. Those are the two middle ones. But Hadadi, he puts those two together. V'Lechem Gam Nishtale v'Chem Hatzir Shal Hashem. So therefore, since he's changing the order of the parshios, so therefore that's going to change the nature of the name that we want to concentrate on. It's going to be Yud Kei Kei Vav. The Ekyah Sheni, who's so Iber Sheni the godless, and then the second one, of course, would be the final birth, I guess, of the Mochin the godless. Of the Shal Yad, now looking at the Tefillin Shal Yad, he says, the Kavim about the Tefillin Shal Yad is this. He said once again, his Ekyah, and then this is Rabeinu Tam, Yud K K Vav, and then the final name is Adni. This is what we should have in mind when we're doing this. Ekyah hu Mochin the Ibor, Yakaku, or the Yud K K Vav, is considered to be Mochin the Yanika, Uvechem Na'asach Hashinui, Bein Tefillin Shal Yad, the Rashi, the Bein Tefillin Shal Yad, the Rabeinu Tam, Vobish Tefillin, the Rabeinu Tam, Oisim, as a Chavaya B'tzir Yud K K Vav, and then it comes to the Adni, who sowed Iver Sheni, the godless, so this is the Iver Sheni of godless then. So he says, Shisha Shemos Elu, because when we join together these three names, V'hayichud V'achibach B'shel Shisha Shemos Elu, Shehem Shlosha Shal Tefillin Shal Rosh, Shehem Ekyah Yud K K Vav and Ekyah, V'shlosha Tefillin Shal Yad, Shehem Ekyah Yud K K Vav and Adni. Heim begematria kuf pei. They come to the gematria of 180. Kishet started is called the Shisha Shemas Yachtav Haim only begematria 180. Now I think we may have seen this before. I'm not sure. So if you add up Av Sag Ma, you come to 180 also. So in other words, this is like the flow that's coming through Zeran. The way I understand it, at any rate, it's like the flow coming through Zeranpin. That's what's up above. Ve'elach Hashisha Shemos Shehem Ekyah Yakaku Ekyah, and then Yud K K Vav Adni Heim Kamizbach Shlosha Chavayas B'Milui Av Saguma. So the Miluim of the name Savaya come to the same thing. I hear the idea, but I'm not sure what it does. You know exactly why we need to, how it goes together. That these names all add up. This in Rabeinu Tam to the same gematria as Av Saguma. The Ein Hefresh being the Rashi, the Rabeinu Tam. Actually, as far as gematria is concerned, they're going to be the same gematria. Ve'im Shum Hefresh v'chila bein the Kavana shal the Tefillin the Rashi, the bein the Kavana shal the Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam. Ela be'inyan the Havaya. The only difference between them is how the Havaya is written. V'kol ha'hedel sheyeshna Rabeneihem who rak v'Kavanas the Seder Shem Havaya. So all the difference between those two only has to do with Yud K K Vav versus Yud K Vav K. So as we're finishing up now, he says, Ki kfi say the Rashi, because according to the order of Rashi, Ki the fi say the Chaparshas, the Tefillin the Rashi, Yesh the Kaveh b'Hanachas, the Tefillin the Rashi, so this is the Kavana, M'Chavaya, for the Havaya Kasher, he Kasidra, that I know Yud Ke Vav Ke. And a couple of more, and he's over Kafi say the Rabeinu Tam, of all the Fi say the Parshas, because now he's saying that the order of the Parshas is different, the Rabeinu Tam, Yesh the Kaveh b'Hanachas, the Tefillin the Rabeinu Tam, B'Chavaya, share he besod Yud K K Vav, Kolomer Yud K K Vav, like that, and there's one more. So he says, "Chavavayas achadadi shebetefillin dervedu tama seiduhu shemamidim b'parshat v'hoya kiviyacha," because we're standing that b'bayis hasheni in the second tefillin, I guess the box of the box of the tefillin. Parshat v'hoya im shemoa b'bayis hashlishi, and then you're going to have bars in the third box. Mamelech hachavayas shehem shtei so he says that these particles are next to each other. The ficho gam begavonas hachavayah to tefillin der bein tam begavana b'chavayah hasheni hashnei hein the chavayah on the besmoch zeh etzel zeh kazeh. So he has a different order of the tefillin. We don't know why yet at this point, and so we'll find out. That's it. Baruch Fleischman, I am here. Thank you very much for learning with me today.